Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance 360-degree sessions where we cover all the relevant and important finance current affairs that are important from your exam point of view. And in today's session, I have brought for you the two very important current affairs, the finance current affairs. One is regarding the launch that has happened of the UPI and the RuPay card services in the international grounds in Sri Lanka and Mauritius. Okay, so what is the news article? What is the launch saying all about? Okay, the UPI has been launched for Sri Lanka and Mauritius and the RuPay card services will be provided in Mauritius. So how they will be provided, what is the linkage that is going to be there, what is the connectivity that is going to be there. So all of this we are going to discuss in today's session in much clarity so that there is no confusion that is in your mind regarding the news article, and this is very important from the objective point of view of the examination. The RBI Grade B, NABARD Grade A, SEBI Grade A, as well as from the descriptive point of view also, the news article is very important, and on the request of some of the students, I have also brought for you a descriptive question that we are going to discuss at the end of the session. Okay, now the other news article is regarding the OTP. So this is not a very big news article. I will explain you in brief that what is the proposal that has been given by the Reserve Bank of India. So these are the news articles that we are going to discuss in today's session. But before that, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap and do join our Telegram channel where you are going to get the PDF of the session. So you will get the PDF in the Telegram channel, and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. So good morning Mehak, good morning Saurish, good morning Jayant, Anmol, Shalini, N. Okay, so good morning Bharat, good morning everyone, and welcome to the session. Now let's start with the session. The first news article is regarding the launch of India's RuPay or UPI connectivity with Mauritius and Sri Lanka. So what is the news article? First of all, see, the launch is the virtual launch where the Prime Minister of our country, Prime Minister of Mauritius and the President of Sri Lanka, they all were present, as well as the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, the Governor of the Monetary Authority of Mauritius and the Governor of the Monetary Authority of Sri Lanka were also present in the virtual summit that happened, in the virtual meeting that happened, in which the launch has happened of the UPI and the RuPay services. Okay. So Honorable Prime Minister of India, Honorable Prime Minister of Mauritius and Honorable President of Sri Lanka, they witnessed the launch of India's RuPay UPI connectivity with Mauritius and Sri Lanka. This has happened on February 12, 2024. So now this is the virtual launch that happened of the RuPay card and the UPI connectivity between India and Mauritius. So remember this very clearly that between the India and Mauritius, there is the connectivity for the RuPay cards as well as for the UPI, while between the India and Sri Lanka, there is the UPI connectivity only. Okay, so this is the idea. Now let's start with the highlights. So first of all, between the India and Sri Lanka, what is the connectivity? The connectivity is for the UPI. Okay, so the digital payments connectivity has started with Sri Lanka. This will enable the Indian travelers that are going to Sri Lanka, they will be able to make the UPI payments. Okay, so the digital payments connectivity with Sri Lanka will enable the Indian travelers to make the QR code based payments at the merchant locations in Sri Lanka using their UPI apps. So using your UPI apps, you will be able to make the payments. So you go to kirana shops, you go to grocery shops, you even go to some artisan, you even go to some carpenter or even the blacksmith. You are able to make the UPI payment using your mobile phone, using the app like the phone pay and such, and you are able to make the payment to the person, to the merchant through the QR code. Similarly, the same system will be available to you if you go to Sri Lanka. There the QR codes are there. Okay, the QR codes are there. You will be able to use the QR codes with the merchant in Sri Lanka and you will be able to make the payments. You will be able to do the payments through your UPI apps. Okay, so this is the whole news article. In Sri Lanka, there is the Lanka Pay that is bringing the Sri Lanka's national payment infrastructure on par with the international players. So this is the motive of the Lanka Pay, and the Lanka Pay QR codes are there. That you can see, Lanka QR codes are there. So this Lanka Pay in Sri Lanka is providing the QR codes that will be in sync with the India's UPI apps, India's UPI system, so that the UPI app, whichever app you are using, you will be able to make the payments if the UPI app is providing you the UPI Global or UPI International. So how using your UPI system you will be able to make the payments. Okay, so I went to my Google Pay app, the GPay app, as well as I went to my PhonePe app. Now I was not able to find the UPI Global or the UPI International in the Google Pay. Maybe it is in somewhere in the settings, but I was not able to find it. But in my PhonePe, I was able to find the UPI International. So if you go to the your PhonePe, you will see this UPI International. If you click on this, you will go to this page, that is UPI International. You can make any of your bank account, you can connect it and you can make it international, and through this UPI International or UPI Global system that is provided in the apps, through which you do the UPI payments. So the UPI International or UPI Global, if it is provided, then you can use the QR codes that have been provided in Sri Lanka and you can make the payments very easily. So this is the whole system that has been provided. Now I hope you understand that now the Indian travelers, they will be able to make the QR code payments in Sri Lanka also, not only in India. So this is the whole system. So launch of India's digital payments connectivity with Mauritius and Sri Lanka. So these all people were present in the virtual summit, in the virtual launch that has happened, and the virtual launch is like the Lanka Pay, the UPI system, the Mauritius CAS and the RuPay, they all are getting connected in a way through the launch that has happened. Okay, so this is the idea. Now the highlights coming to the Mauritius. So what has happened with Mauritius? So with the connectivity, an Indian traveler, if he is traveling or she is traveling to Mauritius, will be able to pay a merchant in Mauritius using the UPI system, using the QR codes. The Indian people using the UPI app, using the UPI International or the UPI Global, they will be able to make the payments in the Mauritius. Similarly, a Mauritian traveler will be able to do the same in India using the instant payment system app of the Mauritius. So remember, in Sri Lanka, only it is provided for the Indian travelers. If we are going to Sri Lanka, we will be able to make the payments. It is not for the Sri Lankan travelers in India for now. But in Mauritius, it is vice versa. It is for the Indian travelers also. We can make payments in Mauritius using the UPI apps. Similarly, the Mauritian travelers can make the the QR code based payments in India using their system, that is the instant payment system app of Mauritius. Okay. Further, with the adoption of RuPay technology, the Mauritius Central Automated Switch Card Scheme of Mauritius will enable the banks in Mauritius to issue the RuPay card domestically. So the RuPay system is the indigenous system of India, and now the Mauritius government, the Mauritius Prime Minister and the Mauritius Central Bank has said that they are going to issue the RuPay cards domestically in Mauritius. So that means our indigenous system is going to expand, and in Mauritius, the RuPay cards will also be issued domestically in their country. So the RuPay technology, that is the Indian indigenous technology, will be adopted in Mauritius, and the Mauritius Central Automated Switch Card Scheme, through this scheme of Mauritius, the banks in Mauritius will be able to issue the RuPay card domestically. Such cards that have been issued by the Mauritius banks, such cards can be used at the ATMs and the POS, point of sale terminals, the swiping machines you can see. So such cards that has been issued by Mauritius banks can be used at the ATMs and the POS terminals locally in Mauritius, as well as these cards can be used in India also. So whatever Mauritius and India is doing, it is a vice versa kind of thing, that our travelers will be able to use the UPI apps in Mauritius. Mauritian travelers will be able to use their app using our QR codes in India. Okay, as well as our RuPay system, our RuPay card will be issued domestically in Mauritius and can be used in the ATMs and POS machines in Mauritius and in India. Similarly, so with this, Mauritius becomes the first country outside Asia. Mauritius is a African country. It is in the African continent. So the Mauritius has become the first country outside Asia to issue cards using the RuPay technology. And the Indian RuPay cards that are issued by the Indian banks in India, they would also be accepted at the ATMs and POS terminals in Mauritius. So it is not only the Mauritius banks that are issuing the RuPay cards that will be used in the ATMs and POS terminals in Mauritius as well as in India, but it also the Indian RuPay cards, they can also be used in the ATMs and POS terminals in Mauritius. So this is the whole understanding that you need, that in the Mauritius case there is a vice versa thing that is there, as well as there was the launch that happened of the whole system, that is also in YouTube. I also saw that, and there was also the example that was given that how the person of India is able to make, the Indian traveler is able to make the payments in Sri Lanka, and it was also shown that the Mauritian traveler can make the payments in India and vice versa. Okay, so this is the whole understanding that you need to get. Now, these projects have been developed and executed by NPCI International Payments Limited, that is NIPPI. So I hope you remember that the NPCI has an international arm, that is the NPCI International Payments Limited, along with partner banks or non-banks from Mauritius and Sri Lanka. Under the guidance and support of Reserve Bank of India, this project has been developed. Okay, the Bank of Mauritius and the Central Bank of Sri Lanka have also played an important role in making these possible. Okay, the above facilities have been made operational through select banks, non-banks, third-party application providers in India, Mauritius and Sri Lanka. Going forward, these facilities will be scaled up. Now, the collaborations on India's digital payments connectivity with Mauritius and Sri Lanka through UPI and RuPay will deepen the financial integration between the countries and strengthen the long historical, cultural and economic relations of India with Mauritius and Sri Lanka. So this is the whole news article. Now, is there any confusion in any of the decisions that have been taken by the RBI? Any confusion here? Clear? So it is clear to Shorish and anyone else? So now coming to the second news article, that is principle-based framework for authentication of digital payment transaction. Okay. So here, over the years, RBI has prioritized the security of digital payments. In particular, the requirement is there for the additional factor authentication. Additional factor authentication means that the first authentication that you are doing for any payment is by putting your PIN. You are putting your password, you are putting your PIN. So that is the first factor authentication. You are authenticating your transaction. The additional factor authentication is that after putting your password, there is also OTP that comes in your mobile phone through SMS, and you have to authenticate through the OTP also. So that is the additional factor authentication that is present. Okay. See, Vikrant is asking about the currency exchange. So when you go to the UPI International now, so that sends a message to the banks that okay, you have to exchange the money from a currency to another currency. So that's why there is an option of UPI International. So if you activate that, that means your money will be transferred into, like, whenever you are making the transactions, then your transactions will be in some other currency. So there is a full system that is working behind the UPI International and the UPI Global. Yes, regarding the digital payments, as there can be a question in the descriptive, so yes, you have to cover everything regarding the digital payments. Any other confusion? No, they will not accept, like for now there is no discussion regarding the acceptance of the, there is no discussion regarding the acceptance of the Indian rupees, but the UPI International will convert your currency in the other currency. So that is the whole news. So now coming back to the news article, so the additional factor authentication is required whenever you are making a payment. Okay, you are making a payment, so the additional factor authentication is usually required. Now, though RBI has not prescribed any particular way of the additional factor authentication, but the payments ecosystem has largely adopted the SMS based one-time password. So even if you are like taking something from Flipkart, Amazon, they also send the OTP. Even if you are doing any kind of transactions, net banking, all the banks, they also use the SMS based one-time password as the additional factor authentication. Even the IND Money or the Grow app or any of the different apps in the financial markets, the stockbrokers, they also use the SMS based one-time password. So this has been used quite a lot, and when a system becomes very common, there is also it becomes very easy to find the loopholes. Okay, so the SIM switch kind of thing is going on, or the phone cloning can happen, that okay, they are sending a kind of link that you open and your whole phone is getting cloned. So whatever message is coming to you, whatever SMS is coming to you, that will get cloned and that will be shown to some other person also. So you can understand that how easy it has become to find the loopholes in the one-time password also. And that's why the RBI is saying that when the market is developing very fast and there are the fintech developments that is happening, the financial technology developments that are happening, and different ways of additional factor authentication have been found, then why all the apps, all the banks, all the non-banks, why they are sticking to one method only? That, and now it has become very easy to find a loophole in this method also. So in the Statement on Developmental and Regulatory Policies document that was released by the Reserve Bank of India in February 2024 only, in this it has been said, it has been proposed by the Reserve Bank of India to focus on the principle-based framework for authentication of digital payment transactions. That is, you have to move away and you have to focus on various different ways of additional factor authentication. With innovations in technology, alternative authentication mechanism has emerged in recent years to facilitate the use of such mechanism for digital security. It is proposed to adopt a principle-based framework for authentication of digital payment transaction. So this has been said. Now, what is a principle-based? What is a principle-based framework for authentication of digital payment transaction? So RBI has said that they are going to give the instructions in the coming months, in the coming period, but there are no particular instructions that have been given recently. But there are the market participants, there are the CEOs of different countries that have thought about the principle-based framework for authentication that we are going to understand. So first of all, the governor's statement is this, that with technological advancement, alternative authentication mechanisms have been emerged in recent years. Therefore, to facilitate the adoption of alternative authentication mechanism for enhancing the security, we have to move towards the principle-based framework for authentication of such transactions. Okay, there are other methods also, so start using the other methods. Do not stick to one method only, because then there will be very easy, because now the fraudsters know that okay, only one-time password has to be you have to get the one-time password only. The fraudsters have to get the one-time password only of any of the person. So they will start cloning the mobile, or they will find the measures to take the one-time password. So rather than use the multiple authentication way that the fraudsters will not be sure about. So this principle-based approach promises not only enhanced security and efficiency, but it also provides flexibility to the users. So principle-based framework is kind of like that they will ask that a password, email, after putting your PIN or after putting your password, you have to put your email ID, or you have to put your date of birth or some other kind of numbers you have to put, that only you know. So that is a different, that is a principle-based framework, that every time there is a different question that will be asked to you that only you know about, or you have the clarity about that. Okay, so flexibility for users such as the email ID, WhatsApp number, or even the card grid numbers for the additional factor authentication. So rather than always the one-time password, there can be different questions that can be asked for the additional factor authentication. That is a kind of principle based approach for the authentication, additional authentication. Okay, so now there is no certain guidelines from the Reserve Bank of India that what is going to be the principle based framework, but RBI has said that the further guidelines will be released, but RBI is focusing on the principle based framework for authentication of digital payment transaction. So this is the whole news article. I hope this is very much clear. Now this is the first question. So kindly read the question and so I hope you will be easily able to answer this question. Now this is the second question, that is the descriptive question. In the context of recent Reserve Bank of India Digital Payment Index that we have discussed just in the previous sessions, explain the growth of digital transactions in India and also comment on India's expansion of its digital payment infrastructure internationally. So you have to answer, you have to write a descriptive question on this, you have to write an answer on this for 10 marks. So I hope you will be easily able to write an answer regarding this. Okay. So now before moving ahead, there is a big announcement from EduTap that we have brought for you the comprehensive guidebook for RBI, NABARD and SEBI, so that through a single guidebook you can get all your queries answered and the common queries that you have regarding the syllabus, the pattern of the examination, even the previous year question you can download through this guidebook, and with this guidebook the link is provided in the description box below. So do download the guidebooks to save your time, to save your efforts. Let me show you the students that have given the right answer of the previous session. So Kingshuk, Abhiman, Abhay, Molly, Shivam, Meenal, Ayush, Sai, Dinesh, Riya, Durga, Rushi, Imtiaz, Shreyam, Vardhman, Sagar, Priyanka, Aditya, Ankita, Boma, Ajay, Mrunal, Anmol, Ashutosh, NNT, Meem, Shalini, Yash, Dharamveer, Sheena, Akash, Mukul, Navdeep, Tamiz, Lokesh, Sarish, Divya, Rajan, Hope, Ronak, Ankit, Kusum, Abhishek, Dark Knight, Chopsel, Anuj, Shubham, Harendra and Ghazal. So these are the students that have given the right answer of the previous session question. So thank you very much for all your kind comments and thank you for giving the right answer of the previous session, so that the other students that are not aware about the answers, they can also get the awareness about the answers. Okay, so this is it for today. So thank you very much for joining the session. I hope you have understood everything very clearly. If you have any query, you can comment down below. You can comment down below if you have any query, or you can call us here or you can mail us here, as well as do give the right answer of the homework question and try to write the descriptive answer, because these are the topics that we have already covered. So now I think you will be easily able to write the descriptive answer, and do tell me in the comment section if you are liking the sessions and should we continue like this, and if there is any change that you want, you can also comment down below. Okay, so thank you very much.